from Paranormal Society. Take a walk into the night with Shawn Kelly.
Hey, good night, everybody. How are you this fine, lovely evening? My name is Shawn Kelly. I'm your host for Into the Night. Don't mind the back screen. I have a green screen and it's kind of new, so I'm still trying to figure it out. So I'm doing okay today again. You know, um, a little thing that's bothering me. But before I go on, I have to say that everybody who is suffering through some kind of illness or mental illness, all right, I want to tell you that I am praying for you. I need you to know that. I need you to know that I'm praying for you, and I hope everything works out great for you. And we'll see what goes on for whatever's going to go on. But I tell you what. Now I'm in the customer service business. Okay, I am a meat cutter with Giant Eagle. Not Giant Eagle. That's my old company with Shawn Save. And recently, everybody's been real miserable. You know, a lot of people have been angry. A lot of people being snippy. You know, and I can't wrap my head around it. People are just being mean to other people. And I don't like that. And that's everything I tell you tonight. It's coming from me. It's not coming. This is what I'm thinking. This is how I perceive everything. Okay. Now everybody's just being mean. I'll give you a good for instance. Hi, Lisa. How are you? Welcome to the show. Um, for a good for instance, okay, to be like I've been meat cutter for 22 years, and every time it came around to Valentine's Day, okay, I would see guys who would be looking at the steak section in the meat department and just standing there and standing there and standing there, and I'm just thinking, okay, do you need any help? And I go up and I ask them, and they say, well, I want to cook my girlfriend uh, a Valentine's dinner tonight. What do you recommend? And I tell them, and every year it was like 4 or 5 different guys. In fact, I'm proud of myself because I actually would give them their menu. Well, got to buy some steaks, and you go over and buy some asparagus. Make sure you get a little heart-shaped cake. Just make it look good. Make roses, and get roses or whatever she likes, and it usually worked out. And this happened every year for like 21 years. And this year was different because there was no guys looking for something to cook for their girlfriends or their wives. There was not too many roses being bought, not too many flowers being bought at the store I'm at. And when I would go out there to put meat into the case, I see all these people standing around and they're miserable. They're mean. They just are not happy. Why is that? It could be something what's going on in the world today. Something bad could be happening in their lives or whatever. But this world is not right. Okay. And I see it with my own eyes. I try to do the best I can. And I'll be honest with every one of you. I'm not the cream of the crop or whatever, because I have some downfalls too. But thanks, Rhonda. Well, thank you for being on the show. Rhonda, meet Alicia, meet Rhonda. And So it's like I'm tired of all the nastiness. And I came up a long time ago, and I put it on my Facebook page about 2, 3 years ago. And I said, what I pray for, what I wish and pray for, is that just one day, that everybody would be nice to everybody. And you know what? It hasn't happened yet. But you know what? I have faith. I have faith that it will happen. And hopefully one day it will work. I'm just tired of being of people being mean and not understanding what's going on with other people. You know, I mean, I could, personally fall into that category by just being mean. But Rhonda knows that I can't. Rhonda knows that I could never be mean. You know, I've known Rhonda for a long time, and there's a good woman there. Very good, very nice, very nice. But don't get her mad. But I just want the world to change. I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to coexist with everybody. And um, what do you guys think out there who's listening to the show? Drop me a message and ask me what do you think it's possible that everybody could just get along for one day? I believe it's going to happen. You know, maybe when I'm dead, then I'll be a ghost, and hopefully I can see that. You know, I mean, to me, it just seems like everybody got to have the best of this and the best of that and the best of this and the best. What does it give you? Let's see if this works. I'm going to put what Rhonda says up here. Let's see if this works. I'm not sure if it'll work. Nope, it don't. Let me see. Nah. So Rhonda has said society has changed and it's an all about me world now. And she's right about that. It's all about me. Okay. Look back in the 30s, look back in the 20s, the 40s, when there was no money. Okay. People had big families, you know, they didn't have the money back then, but they survived and they were happy. I remember when I was young, at dinner time, the TV went off and we sat around the table and ate dinner and we talked about that day. You know, I don't see that anymore. You know, let's hurry up, throw something in the microwave, get something to eat, and then sit down and look at your iPhone all night or your pad or your computer. What happened back in the 60s and the 70s and the 50s and the 40s? What happened to that? That's when family was family. You know, what changed? Rhonda says people used to care about each other and help their neighbors. Today they want to get paid to help, and that's true. I mean, when about 5, 10 years ago, when it would snow, I had no problem shoveling sidewalks for people, and they would offer me money, and I wouldn't take it because it wasn't. It was the way I was raised back then. You know, to this day, I'm coming up on 60 years. I'll be 60 years old in June. Okay. And I still call my elders, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. And I give them the respect. That's what was taught. That was drilled into my head growing up. And to this day, I continue to do that. Now, I'm not talking to you like I have an ego and that I'm Mr. Goody Two Shoes. No, but that's the way I was raised. And now I see teenagers, I see young kids, young adults calling their parents every name in the book, treating them like crap. And it just kills them. It kills people. It kills the parents. You know, it's not fair, because one of these days your parents are going to die and they're not going to be here no more. And they're not going to be able to cover you no more. Then what are you going to do? Or when you have children, okay, and your children decide, okay, I'm going to be 15, 16 years old, they turn that age and they start treating you like crap. How would you feel? You know? So if we can nip it in the butt right now, this very, very instance, okay, to where we start respecting our elders and that we start respecting our parents. Maybe, just maybe, we can get back into the 40s and 50s and 60s. Okay? A dear good friend of mine, Russell Ron, told me one time, and he said to me, you come into this world broke. Okay? And when you die, you're going to leave this world broke. Because you're not going to have none. And the people out there that have these fancy cars, these big houses, the whole 9 yards, all this money, okay, they're going to be buried just like us, 6 feet under. I'll have the same size grave and everything, you know. Now so it's like, so what? It doesn't mean that you have to give away all your money to people, okay? It doesn't mean you have to share it or give it to charities or nothing like that. But don't walk around with your head up in your air saying, yeah, look at what I got, blah, 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 blah. No. And it just, I just get sick when I see the way kids treat their parents. It really, because I will tell you this, and a lot of other people around my age, okay? If I said that to my parents, I got my butt beat, and I got it beat pretty good. Oh yeah, there's no ands or that's about it. But now, no. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen. All right, Tony, how are you? Welcome. Tony, meet Rhonda. So it's like, yeah, be nice. Be nice to people. Be nice to, just be nice. I mean, hopefully, my God, the scientists are like, finding stuff, cures for this and that, AI, or whatever. Are they going to come up with a pill that would make everybody nice? What do you think? I probably won't see it in my lifetime, but you know what? Hopefully one day it will happen. Can you imagine though if everybody was nice to each other for one day? What would happen? What would happen? I think what would happen would be there would be no killings. There would be no fights. Everybody helping each other. Crossing an old lady across, the road, or commenting somebody on how good their hair looks after they come out of the beautician. Even if they didn't come out of the salon, think about it. Just say, hey, your hair looks pretty good. That little sentence, that little line right there speaks volumes. And you know what? It might be minuscule. It might be little. But to that one mind, that person will be the happiest person in the world. And I'll tell you why. I have a little story about that. I did work for the post office. I was at one of the branches, and where I was standing, I was a post teller. I was a teller, and I was looking out, and I saw this lady coming out of her car, and she was ready for a fight. She really was. She was ready, you know. And I'm thinking, oh Lord, please don't come to my window. Please don't come to my window. Please don't come to my window. And what the hell happened? She came to my window. She came to my window. Before she could even mention a single word, I just looked at her and I said, your hair really looks good. Did you just get it done? And she smiled and she said, yes. I said, well, it looks really, really nice on you. And that put the biggest smile, whatever that lady wanted to fight about, at, in the post office, whatever. It just made her feel good. And it made me feel good that I made her feel good, you know. The one story, I was working in a predominant Jewish community in the postal service. Okay. And I was a window clerk. And this one girl, now, see, you have to remember, I have to tell you, I'm like 6'2". I'm a pretty big boy. I always had a buzz cut. You know what I mean? So I'm standing up at the window. This young Jewish girl comes up, and she starts trembling, scared. And I asked her, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And she couldn't talk. She just got nervous, and her hands were shaking and everything. And I'm like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" You know? And I introduced myself as Shawn. And I said, "How's your day?" And I was nice to her. And all of a sudden, you could feel, you know, the scaredness, the fear in her eyes just go away. And we started talking. And then she turned around, she looked at me before she left, and she said, "This is the honest God's truth. You're not a bad person after all. You're not mean." And I said, "What are you talking about? I'm never mean. I can't be mean." Well, rumor had it in this community that, with big, bald head, you know, took them back in World War II, and they really thought because I looked like a certain person back then that did harm to those people, that I was a bad person. That hurt. That hurt me for a little bit, but then I smiled and I looked at her and I said, "No, I'm Irish. My name is Shawn." And she left with a smile on her face. But that's where I get to where people say shit about people, and it's not true. And that girl went away with a smile and she felt relieved. And all I was doing was being nice. And I knew, God, the fear, if you saw the fear in her eyes, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable, you know? So it's, don't talk about anybody behind her back. Come straight out and tell it. Come on straight out and say, "Well, I don't like the way you're doing this," or "I don't like who you are." And you know what? That's okay. Because you know why? I'm I'm living rent free in their head, you know? I'm living rent free in their head. And if they think I'm a crazy dude or mean, nasty, whatever, then let them think that, you know. But you know what? My point I'm trying to get across is that you don't have to be that way. You don't. If you have nothing nice to say to a person, don't say nothing at all. That's all you got to do is don't say it at all. What so that um, is my kind of like my rant today. Okay, that was my rant. I just wish people would get a lot. Um, well, people would be a lot nicer to each other. That would make that would make the world happy. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. And I just I just hope that one day it will happen. So getting on that, I don't know. I was thinking about Christmas movies. What are your favorite Christmas movies? And put it in the comments down there. And if you want to talk about it, you can. And we'll share it. But I came up with my Christmas movies that I really, really like that mean a lot. Hey, Spirits, good to see you. Welcome. This is about 3 in the morning over there in the United Kingdom. I bet, but that's cool. Thank you for listening. I appreciate that. And checking in. If you have anything to share with us, please feel free to. But one Christmas movie that means special dear to me, two of them, Christmas Carol and It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. Okay. Most of y'all, 4 a.m. Ooh, wow. We'll catch up to you soon, buddy. But with It's a Wonderful Life, everybody, I don't know if you know that I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've been sober for 30 years. Okay. And I'm not bragging about that. I'm just want to bring up the reason why I'm bringing up these Christmas movies. You know, It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. Okay. And that brought back so many bad, thank you, spirits. And that brought so many bad memories in myself because I tell you what, I was a mean drunk. I was a mean drunk. I didn't care. I did whatever I had to do to get whatever I wanted. And if it meant by stepping on people's toes or doing things, thank you, everybody. I'd do it, you know? I was mean. And with Jimmy Stewart, he drank a lot. He drank a lot. And his life fell apart, you know? And God sent Clarence, the angel, you know, a wannabe angel, or God have had. Die Hard's a pretty good movie. Yeah, I like Die Hard too. But with me, with Clarence coming down, and he had to save George, you know, and there was George on the bridge or wherever, and he was ready to commit suicide, and you know, Clarence came down and saved him. And I didn't have no angels. I didn't have no angels in my life. Okay. And was I looking for an angel? I don't think so. I don't know. Christmas Vacation's a good movie. Those are the funny ones. I like that. That was a good movie. And I didn't have an angel for me. And when I was like searching for one, but I never did. I never got one. And January 21st, 1991 is the day that was the last day I took a drink. And I got that angel. And it wasn't a real angel. It was a human being angel. That would be cool, Tony. I'd like to hear it someday. I'd like to hear your story. That would be cool. And but I did get the angel. And this angel, who was a real person, grabbed me by my ass, and he shoved me into a rehab. This angel did it. And from that day on, you know what? I stayed sober. You know, went to rehab. Then I did AA meetings, and I'm proud to say that I'm an alcoholic. You know, I'm not ashamed of it. And then my son came along, and it's funny. He's going to be what 90, 32 coming in September. I forget. I don't know because my brain is pretty bad on how old he is going to be. But I know that he was 4 months old when I got sober, and he's 31 right now, and he hasn't seen me take a drink. You know, and I think that angel, that person who got me into AA, he died. It was heartbreaking. But there was somebody out there that thought of me and said, Shawn, you can be a better person, but you got to have to want to do it. You know, I mean, and I did. I busted my ass, in AA. You know, I wanted to get sober. And you know what? I did it for all the wrong reasons that I stayed sober. Did it for all the wrong reasons. Um, like when I started getting out, it was more for my wife, my husband, my wife, and my son. I got sober for them, you know. I got sober for him. I got sober for her. Blah blah blah, the whole 9 yards. And then all of a sudden, I really, really had to um, come to realize that I had to get sober for me, and that was kind of hard, but I did it, you know. And what was really cool was as I was growing in the program, I was getting a lot better, feeling better, waking up, no alcohol. Sugar's kind of whacked out, but you know, so it's like I was getting better. Yeah, it is hard, Tony. It is really, really hard. But getting sober, I had a lot of friends who were angels that were in them rooms. So I relate to It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. You know, now it's really, really hard for me to watch that movie. It really is because I tear up. I really do tear up. I start crying. There's nothing wrong with crying. It's okay to cry. It's a healthy cry. But what it does is it brings me back to where I started a long time ago. So maybe someday I'll be able to sit through the whole show, the whole movie. So that's why, to me, It's a Wonderful Life is a big, big Christmas movie for me. You know, and the other one is A Christmas Carol, and Ebenezer Scrooge. What a miserable son of a bee, huh? You know, miser, the whole 9 yards, treated people like crap. And this is why I like the movie. Okay. And this is why I hope I see it for the world that happened for just one day. As you know the story, um, a lot of good stuff being said in the room tonight. Thank you. It's pretty cool. Um, but what I liked about what I wish that people would watch this movie because Ebenezer, like I said, he was a miser and stuff like that, and his old partner Jacob Marley, the ghost that had the chains all around him, and he was stuck on Earth for all the bad that he did to people. And then he visited like three ghosts. He told him that he was going to be visited by Christmas past, future, no, Christmas past, the now, and future. And as each one of those ghosts came to him, the past, the shy, how he was shy and stuff like that. And he started to see and realize that, hey, I wasn't this person that wasn't really a bad person, but was very unsure of himself. Okay. And then it goes to the Christmas Now, where it shows the ghost shows Ebenezer, right? You're not so a really well-liked fella, you know. Your own nephew won't invite, he invited you for Christmas dinner, but all his friends are saying, hey, you don't invite him because all he does is cause a lot of stuff, a lot of bad stuff. And see, to me, that would hurt. But all of a sudden now you got, the Christmas future. And it was death. And he pointed to Ebenezer's grave. And that really touched me now. It really touched me seeing all that. Because I know that eventually I'm going to die, but I don't want to die as that mean person and that miser person, that real angry person, And that's what I really like the movie, because there's a lot of lessons that are learned from that. And I wish everybody in the whole world would be, you know, um, that Jacob Murrow would come visit them, and that everybody would see the three ghosts, and maybe, just maybe, they can be a better person, a loving person, a caring person, someone who people will look up to and say, "Hey, he's not a bad dude. He's okay. He's not that miserable son of a bee that he was before." And so that me are my two favorite Christmas movies go. Okay. Um, now I hunt ghosts. I look for aliens, and I look for UFOs, and I look for Bigfeet, and I look for Thunderbirds, all the cryptids out there now. And you know what? I sit back, and as I'm talking to you tonight, right now, I realize, what if I didn't get sober? Where would I be as a drunk? Who knows? Who knows where I'd be? But I really believe that God or whoever, puts you on a certain path, your life, it's written in your book, and this is where my path took me. And you know what? I'm okay with it. I enjoy the work. I enjoy helping people out. And who knows what's going to happen? They always have a thing, the past is done. Right now I'm in the now. And nothing has happened. And I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Maybe this will be my last show. Maybe I'll die, get sick, and I can't do this no more. But you know what? As long as, now I understand the question to me about drinking on investigation. Ah, good one, buddy. Yep. I'm going to be okay because I'm okay right now. Do I have to be? Do I have to be mean? No, I don't need to be mean. I just need to be Shawn. I just need to be who I am. And if people have a hard time accepting who I am, then you know what? That's on them. But I can't change for other people. I got to be who I am for me. As long as I can lay my head on my pillow tonight when I go to bed and say, "Thank you, God, for another wonderful day," then it worked. I had a great day. Now, um, And then tomorrow morning when I wake up, this is like a ritual for me. When I wake up in the morning, I say, you know what, Lord, please let me have a good day today. I put it in your hands. And I do. And you know what's crazy? I usually do. I mean, there are some situations, there are times that have to jump over some hurdles. And you know what? Not every day is a great day. Not every day is a great day. I have bad days. It's crazy. If we got a full moon out, and I'm like, wow, I'm sane tonight. Because usually I get crazy. Not crazy. I mean, I act weird. I act weird all the time, but whenever it's full moon, I get, I get crazy. Um, my problem that I have is my mouth because I'm not afraid to say what I want to say and I tell it as it is. And do I hurt people's feelings? I do. And I do not mean to because the way my brain is, the way I think is I speak before I think. I don't think before I speak. I speak, then I think. And for anybody out there who is listening to the show, I apologize for that. I apologize for hurting you with my mouth. I'm pretty good at it, hurting people, and I want to apologize for that. You know. So that's where I'm at today. And that's how I felt. We talked about a little bit about it on the last show, Chasing Prophecy. Um, I forgot to say, we are on UPRN Radio, 103.5 New Orleans. Okay. You can also catch us on, you can catch us on. What can you put up the thing for YouTube, Joe, please? So our listeners can see this or people are viewing the show. I'd appreciate it, buddy. And you can catch the show on there. I am the co-host of Chasing Prophecy. We come on Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock. Me, Jenny, Trish, and Jason. We come on and we have a 2-hour show, which is a fantastic show. We talk about different comments, different things. We have different guests on. Like tonight, we had Stan Gordon on, a real big ufologist, Bigfoot person, investigator here in the Western Pennsylvania area. And it was a great show. And then I come on into the night with me, Shawn Kelly, from 11 p.m. to midnight. And I just talk what I want to talk, Eventually, at the beginning, I always wanted to talk about ghosts, something about paranormal, cryptids, different things that has to do with the paranormal field. But you know what? It just got to the point where I just talk about whatever I want to talk about, that has affected me, that is affecting people around, I don't know. And then you can ask my producer, you can ask Jenny and Jason, whatever comes out of my mouth is going to come out of my mouth. And tonight, I guess I had to talk about what I talked about today, There is a lot of good people out there, but there's a lot of bad people too. And hopefully, and like I've been saying this all during the show, that everybody one day can just be nice to each other. So keep your fingers crossed, say a little prayer, and maybe it'll work, And now, like my show, like I want to talk about, I talk about everything and anything. So all that, I'm going to jump into this little thing for the last 10 minutes of the show. I was watching the show on Discovery Plus. I think it was on the History Channel, and it was called Vampires in America. Mm-hmm. It was about 2 guys who hunt vampires. And they started to show off by all the cattle mutilations out there, I think in Arizona, I think it was. Yeah, Arizona. And they're vampire hunters. So automatically they think, there's vampires out there that are mutilating cows. But you also got to remember too, because when I started watching this show, with a lot of other cow mutilations, animal mutilations, that had to do with a lot of UFOs, alien situations. So automatically, when I first started watching this show, I was thinking it was aliens, but these guys were dead set it was on vampires. And so they go out there and they talk to the rancher, where the cows were mutilated, and um, it was pretty decent. And then all of a sudden, it got stupid. Okay. They talked to a private investigator, and when they finally told him that they were vampire hunters, he got all ballistic on them and decided, I can't talk to you no more. And then they go and they find the so-called vampire nest. Okay. Because there was a lot of people who were missing, a lot of young teenagers. There were a lot of missing persons who were homeless. Okay. And I'm watching this and I'm saying to myself, could this really happen here in America? Now, I know there are different vampire societies out there, and they're good. They're good. They do what they got to do, but they do it all clean. But actually, a vampire sucking, biting somebody's neck and draining their blood, um, that's crazy. That's crazy. Could it be happening? What do you guys think out there who's listening and watching the show tonight? Do you think there are real vampires out there that do attack human beings? Now, we know that there's psychic vampires out there that drain people, you know, um, where you're in a room and people start talking and they just drain your energy. Well, they exist. Hi, Trish. How are you, buddy? Good show tonight. What she says, Trish says, I think a certain race of aliens are vampires. I agree. I agree with you, Trish. You know, I, I, I mean, Trish knows her stuff. And that would be crazy if they're, seeing an alien vampire. That would be cool. You know, vampires from outer space. Oh God, Jenny. But I just the show just interests me. It really it was something to see, something to hear, and something to watch. Because it did sound interesting. But I personally, if you want my honest opinion, I really believe it was bogus. To be honest with you. Um, but I'm not gonna, take time out of my life, 24 hours, to go hunt for vampires. I'm just not into that. And that's me, you know. But back to what Trish had to say about aliens, okay? That would be interesting. Well, I guess you can consider aliens as vampires because, they zap you up to the mothership, and then, they probe you and do whatever they want to do to you up there. And then they send you back. And this is from what I've heard, and this is what I've listened to. And I didn't read it. I just listened to the people who know what they're talking about. And aliens who suck blood. That's the good. God, I got good people. I'm glad you guys are watching my show. But that would be interesting. I guess if you look at the whole whole situation in the whole world. Everybody's a vampire, but they do it in their own different ways. So maybe someday everybody won't be a vampire, and everybody just be themselves and be okay. There's no need for the hate no more. No more hate. But I'm getting down to the last 4 minutes of my show. And I just want to say that, I want to thank everybody who participated in the chat tonight. You know, um, our friend from what they call over across the pond in the UK. That really means a lot to me. Thank you. Trish, Tony, Rhonda, Jenny, I know she's on there. Um, Thank you for being on the show. And on my closing statement, I would like to say is that you know what, everybody's beautiful. They really are. A lot of people have good hearts. They need to open up to them and look for the good in it. Oh, Denise, hi, honey. Thank you for enjoying the show. I didn't see you there. Ah, cool. Good. Oh, man, Denise, it's good to see you. Denise is a good girl, too. Very Irish very Irish. She's a good girl. She's a very good friend. But I just want everybody to be okay. I just want everybody to be okay. And on that note, for the last 2 minutes, I just want to thank everybody again for watching the show and listening. And who knows what's going to happen? Jenny from the blog is watching. Have a good night. Smile at each other. And kids and parents, hug your children. Because there's a time that you're not going to be able to hug them anymore. And tell them you love them. It don't hurt. It does not hurt to say I love you. You might not think it, but in reality, you do. And on that note, good night, everybody, and happy hunting. Talk to you later. Bye. And we're waiting.